it meant anything goes. Anyone could die, anyone could fall in love, anyone could die, anyone could fall in love, anyone could die, anyone could die.
Age of Apocalypse.
Concept was so cool.
Age of Apocalypse.
Concept was so cool.
People couldn't believe it. They had to believe it. People couldn't believe it. They had to believe it.
Everything that you had come to know and love. Out the window. Everything that you had come to know and love. Out the window. Everything that you had come to know and love. Out the window.
I'm Jeremy Greer.
And I'm Gary Butterfield.
And this is Days of Future Cast, the podcast where Gary and I are going through Age of Apocalypse, the 1990s sensation. What happened if Charles Xavier had died and not formed the X-Men? The X-Men get formed anyway, and some other shit happens.
Yep. If Charles is the very specifically Charles Xavier formed the X-Men. If anyone else did it, we'd be fucked.
Yes.
And not just fucked. Fucked in a way where there are giant factories that melt down bones.
Yeah. Not good. Nothing good is happening in this universe.
No. Nothing good. We have officially crossed over to the halfway point. Now that we're tackling number 3s. This is our first number 3. We talk about X-Calibre number 3.
You know, they we just to expand on that joke a little bit, like nothing good happens. There's a couple of times, and it happens in this issue as well, where people get exposed to this idea that this is a wrong timeline, and they're like, well, I mean, if that's true, look what I'll have to sacrifice. I'll give up my entire life. And I'm like, I just want to like look around and be like, are you fucking kidding me right now? Like, really?
Yeah.
This, you would rather like be kind of chill and live in this than just have a different thing happening? Like, come on.
Well, you know, I think the idea being in like Soma ways, it wouldn't be them.
Oh yeah,
you know?
Absolutely.
So yeah, but it also seems like for the greater good, any of the hero characters should probably want to do it.
Yeah.
So there are very few people who are better off in the Age of Apocalypse. Not even the bad guys, really. I'm like arguably, Apocalypse is better off.
Apocalypse is the only guy, right? Like that's it.
Yeah. Everybody, and if he wasn't better off, like what a kick in the dick. You know, if like the age of you,
oh man,
was not
the age of Jeremy,
you.
And it's just me getting kicked in the dick every 5 minutes. I'm like, this age sucks.
It sucks. This is the best of the world for me. I had to go put in a shift down at the bone melting plant and this.
God damn, I still have to work for a living. It's the age of Jeremy and I have an hourly rate. What are you talking about?
Yeah. I can't even get a chair with a cushion. It has to be made of skulls.
Oh, fucking skull chairs. They ruined my back. I'm 40.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm infinite. I'm Apocalypse. I'm centuries old. My aching back. Man, I bet you Apocalypse gets up like 10 or 12 times to get up pee in the bed.
Absolutely not, dude. He just pees in the bed and expects Havoc to take care of it. I mean, that's
and he just gets a new bed. Like Havoc just like moves a mattress with Rex.
Yeah.
And the two of them move that bed together.
And then there's a room with old, just pee-ridden Apocalypse beds somewhere because they can't get rid of it.
Skulls.
Yeah.
Yeah. Skulls and pee-ridden Apocalypse beds, and then like Madrai worshipping the urine stains.
Yeah, there's definitely a law where you like can't destroy the Lord's waste or something. So they just have to hang on to the urine sheets for a long, long time.
Yeah. They like if you get caught putting one of the urine sheets in the atrocity zone.
Oh man,
you get sent to the atrocity zone.
They start a whole new atrocity zone for people that do that, Gary.
Yeah, extra atrocity. I like the idea of Beast Litter Box also being the atrocity zone. If I were in this world, I'd make jokes about the atrocity zone all the time. Like, do not go in there. I just turn that bathroom into the atrocity zone.
You're going to say that later to your girlfriend, and your girlfriend's going to be like, what the fuck are you talking about? What is an atrocity zone?
Cannot wait. I love confusing my girlfriend with Age of Apocalypse references.
God, it's dope.
I
do too, actually. I don't know why she calls me all the time, but I love it.
We're talking about X-Calibre number 3 here. The last issue. This is Nightcrawler going to go get Destiny and meet with his mother. Meet her in Avalon. The last issue, there was a big corpse dump in the ocean, but Mystique came and reunited with Nightcrawler. And this issue, quite a bit happens actually in this issue. Yeah. And it's going to be largely about that.
Mm-hmm. So they Caliban or Callisto is dealt with. She's dead in the ocean, so we're not going to deal with her. So they quickly ascend the rope ladder onto her ship, and it's time to go to Avalon.
Real quick, do you think that the artist who drew Mystique and Nightcrawler in this first panel knew that they were supposed to be mother and son and not lovers?
Nope. Definitely a lover thing.
This is the horniest,
super sexy
picture of them together. Like, this is Pornhub tag.
Yeah. Let me wipe that lip off with my thumb is something that my mom definitely has never done to me. So I'm not.
Yeah. You're still getting yourself into trouble, just like always. Wipe. Hi, Mom. Like, this has some real big foreign vibes to it. So they're going to leave on this helicopter. We cut over to the flying ship that the Pale Riders were riding. Now there's only 2 Pale Riders. This is real weird. Damask is talking about how sexy Nightcrawler is.
Yeah.
This is a horny issue.
Oh, dude, it's like there's some stuff with not even horny, but there's some weird like things that people say with their mouths in this issue. Well, it's going to be coming up in a minute, but I can't wait to talk about. Damask is super horny for this. Deadpool actually seems like for like. I can't remember her name. Moon, whatever. Moonborn.
Moonstar.
Moonborn is the exact member. Sorry, Moonborn.
Danny Moonstar.
Moonstar. For someone who was just like constantly torturing him, he seems weirdly broken up about the fact that she's dead.
Yeah. And Damask is like, no, we have a job to do. It only takes 2 of us to torch this island. Also, she never liked you. And I kind of like this. He's like, what? And it cuts away. I think that's a cute little cut. We go over to Mystique's Antarctic base called Cold Gray.
Yeah.
So she has a castle built in the mountains.
Like you do.
Here. She lives in the 6th Archstone over here.
People are going to be so fucking disappointed. People are going to be so sad. And this is like their relationship, I think, is actually kind of like well portrayed in this. Like, I like this, he's just like, oh, it's really cold. I hope you have central heating. And she's like, I went through all the trouble of finding a father with fur in his jeans and still you moan about the cold. That's a weird sentence. Like, just say with your mouth. It is a weird sentence for sure. But it does, I like, them as mother and son for a second until they start like choking each other out erotically and shit. Well, because he responds to that and says, and what a father you found. And she says, and what a son I gave birth to. Do you know how uncomfortable it was to have a baby with feet like yours? And I'm like, can we not? Yeah. Can we not? Yeah. It's really stretched my pussy weird, son. Yeah. And then Nightcrawler's like, what the? Nightcrawler literally just has the most stunned look of like, excuse me? Oh, my mom just talked about my feet coming out of her vagina. That's fucked up. Yeah, and she's a shapeshifter. You can make your vagina be like whatever you wanted. Why wouldn't you turn into like a rhino for the birth? Actually, you just have a big wide carriage. It's in the canon. It's a that's the biggest limitation shapeshifters have is that they can't change the shape of their vagina. Pussy cannot change. Nope. Okay, yeah, pussy has to stay the same no matter same what. Pussy, different body, yeah. No matter what. That's how you figure out it's her. Same week. I'm going to need you to model for this fleshlight to prove you're not a shapeshifter. Whatever you say, Asa Akira. So Nightcrawler's pushing the issue here, in this Canehurst-ass castle. Like, Mom, why don't you want to go to Avalon? And she's like, I love Avalon. I go to Avalon all the time. He's pushing her like, you don't want to meet this Destiny woman. She's changing the subject. Eventually he slaps her. Yeah. He's like, hey, everything they say about you must be true. Like, you're just trafficking these people, stealing all their stuff. You don't deserve to set foot in Avalon. And she's like, yeah, I don't. I don't just fleece them. It's a tariff. And he loses his mind. Mm-hmm. He's super pissed. There's a lot of yelling back and forth. She starts screaming, it's not my fault. Please stop talking. Shut up, shut up. Yeah. Her outfit, like we briefly commented it on the ship, but I was looking at it in this page like right before he slaps her. Like she's got like the bondage straps over all of her clothes, but she's also got some like underneath her clothes. So like that's true. She bound herself up, and then when she was like not quite enough, put on a jacket, and then bound up the jacket. Man, now I gotta bind up the legs and ankles. This is good. I mean, it takes 27,000. Like, it takes 45 minutes for her to get ready in the morning. That's all I'm saying. Yeah, women. This is ridiculous. I hope she doesn't take that off to go to sleep.
Say what?
I said women. Am I right, folks?
Well, she probably just shapeshifts all the straps on. That's probably just her
She
skin.
shapeshifts a strap on? What did you just say?
Yeah, yeah. Well, that's how she tells other shapeshifters aren't her partner. She just checks it out. It's pretty ridiculous.
Yeah.
She's checking out her weapon. She has several missiles hanging from the ceiling
Sure.
in the castle. This is pretty silly.
I love the rope with that. Like not a strap or like a chain or anything like that. Just some old rope we found in the castle, and then presumably a nuclear missile. Let's just hang that up.
Yep. So they get into a fight, with Nightcrawler calling her out, and basically we cut over to them making the trip. Like he's convinced her.
Yes.
To go through the skeleton cave to get to Avalon.
She says that he has a forked tongue, and they arrive on the shore, and of course we meet Juggernaut, who is there doing his whole monk routine, being peaceful.
Yep.
Yep. And they just
and they're like, why isn't this Destiny?
Yeah.
He's like, Destiny is weak, like she's grown frail, so I do this, and she's like, great, carry the boxes.
Thank you, Mystique. We appreciate it.
So they walk for presumably hours,
days,
here.
Right? Like they say, it's been
days,
like 3 days or something.
Yeah. While Mark tells them all about Charles Xavier.
My favorite line in this entire fucking comic book. It is about a dead man named Charles Xavier, Kane's brother. Kurt thinks it is stupid. Oh my god!
Like, what are you doing on the X-Men, my dude?
He thinks this is so fucking stupid. Like, I thought that this was going to be like a weird angle for people to get exposed to Charles Xavier's like peace above all kind of thing from his brother Kane, the Juggernaut. Like, I thought that was going to be a weird like irony thing, and then Kurt thinks it is stupid as it came out in fucking nowhere, man.
The lack of contraction does a lot of work too. It's not Kurt thinks it's stupid. It is stupid. Kurt thinks it is stupid. Is very funny.
Man.
They talks about we get a little backstory here. Mystique is like, what were you before you became this? Kane talks about how he was a murderer. He knew how to kill people. He had all these ways to make people die and no ways to help them live.
Yeah.
So he's kind of doing penance, which he will not get a chance to do as he gets a stroke.
No.
Very shortly.
They arrive to find Destiny and Douglas, aka Cypher, hanging out, like raising flowers. Mystique is super impressed with how beautiful all of this looks. And Destiny at first is like, "Oh, I'm so glad that you're here. Like, I'm so glad that you decided to accept your reward for all of your service. I'm so happy to share this with you." And Raven is basically like, "Nah, you need to pack your shit up and go. We got a jet." But before that happens, they decide to go into the village and hang out for a little while.
Yeah, she's like, "Listen, I have some things I need to tell you before you leave. Like, I'm not leaving. We need to talk." And she introduced her to Switchback. He was like, "Hey, I read the future. From her, we're all going to die." They live in a hobbit village, basically. We go over to the shores where Deadman Wade and Damask have shown up. And here now Damask is a good guy. Damask sees all the flowers and all the paradise, and she's into it. And Deadpool has gone like a kill crazy rampage. He's like, everything is alive here. The birds are singing. The grass is real. It's all alive. Being alive stinks. Let's go kill it.
Yeah.
We have to destroy all this stuff. It's our job.
And Damask is on some, I didn't know it could be like this. Nobody told me the world could be like this shit. Which like seems like just such a huge dramatic change from like, I killed her and I loved it. And I was like, okay.
I killed a girl and I like. Yeah, it's fucked up. It's weird, and I don't know enough about Damask to know if this has any roots in the 616.
Yeah. So they Destiny kind of outlines, or excuse me, Mystique outlines Magneto's plan to Destiny and fills her in on all of that stuff. And Destiny does one of these like, I have so much to lose if you're right, and like. Yeah, like, but the world.
They very specifically, they show like Destiny's like, I have so much to lose, and they show her adopted son Cypher, and then Mystique's like, and I don't, and points her thumb at Nightcrawler. Like it's a classic son off. They're battling their sons like Bakugans.
It's weird that Nightcrawler is currently giving Mystique a massage, right? Like that's a bizarre thing. That's a weird choice.
Well, I mean, if your mom's tense, you have a responsibility to loosen her up.
We've already established you can't. Anyway,
it's very weird. So they're about to have this debate, but they don't get a chance to because they get attacked.
Yep.
And they're like, hey, we got to do this. We have to fight back. Switchback, do you know guns? And she's like, I'm from Detroit. I know guns. Cypher is okay. It looks like he has a hole in his head. It looks
absolutely like he has a hole in his head.
Yeah. But he's okay. He's like, no, it was just the shock. And there's this great, here's the, probably my favorite moment in the comic, where Mystique is like, Kane, are you okay? He's like, I cannot be harmed. That was a rocket. That's sinful. They're like, well, let's do something about it. Let's fight. He's like, I can't. That's garbage. Do you want everyone to die? Have you ever smelled a burning human body? They smell like pigs. It's horrible. He's like, I can't fight them. Even if all your friends die, you can't fight them. And he basically like the end of Planescape Torment, like talks the Juggernaut into dying.
Just fucking
by like giving him hell.
Good job.
He has an aneurysm and dies.
He collapses and like smashes his face on the ground, and like his last word is Charles. And I'm like, Nightcrawler, what the fuck is wrong with you, homie? Like this was
Nightcrawler thinks it is stupid.
Yeah, Kurt thinks that this is stupid.
Stupid. It's not very X-Men like behavior.
No, not at all.
It's to bully this guy.
It's fucking hilarious though. Like it's fucking great.
Yeah. It's very funny. Nightcrawler's like, what happened? I didn't mean to kill him. And Mystique's like, oh, his psychopathic need for peace up against a deep-seated lust for violence. He had an aneurysm.
Yep.
She had been packing guns. That's all the stuff she brought in her boxes. And they go and they see Deadman Wade shooting lasers at them. Can we talk for just a second about Damask's fashion and her haircut?
Yeah, I don't know what they're going for in this. Like, maybe I should look up what Damask normally looks like to see what kind of bullshit that they're trying to do, because the weird like cheetah lining is very strange to me, and I don't know. I really just don't know anything about this chick at all, so I don't want to say, I guess, anything too bad.
Yeah, I really got to learn more about Damask.
Is this just about? I think.
See, Emma Steed.
Was this just Age of Apocalypse? Like, is this just a character?
Well, maybe she was just Damask in that, but I think she's Emma Steed in the 616.
Oh, that's Earth 295. Hold on. All right.
Yeah. Later writers would further reference the Avengers, the Black Queen of she's the Black Queen of the London branch of the Hellfire Club.
Okay. And I was valedictorian of summer school, but as long as we got titles.
Yeah, so she's like an X-Calibre villain or something. Well, she's an X-Calibre villain. Duh. That's why she's here. Because this is ostensibly an X-Calibre comic. Yeah. Okay, so that makes sense. She's got a weird shitty little knife that looks like a potato peeler. She's kind of wearing like a half leopard print kimono thing, like some of the worst fashion, and just like the dumbest haircut in the Age of Apocalypse, and that's saying so much. So Deadpool is like, hey, why aren't you using your powers to kill them? Apocalypse said, and she stabs Deadpool. Like, no, this isn't right. This isn't fair. I thought I was fighting for a better world. No, you didn't.
No, you didn't.
Nobody told me the world could be like this. Yeah, they did. You knew about Avalon. Everybody fucking knows about Avalon. You were
sent to chase down Avalon.
Yeah, like
what did you think it was going to be?
Yeah, it was just we were just going to find a big pile of corpses and report back. So he's basically saying just
saying atrocity zone. Funny, you were really saying Avalon? Weird.
Yeah,
thought you all had weird accents or something. You were actually saying Avalon. Okay, cool. My bad.
What acronym is that? The Deadpool is losing it. He's like, hey, stop hurting me. I'm like the world. I just regenerate and rot. I kind of like Deadpool in this. He starts saying like, no, I'm a nice man. I just don't want people to be alive. Like this feels like, that feels like a Warren Ellis line to me.
Yeah.
He's like, I'm gonna have to kill you because otherwise Apocalypse will be angry. And Nightcrawler comes up and teleports his head off.
Nice.
As was foretold.
Nice.
Yep.
And yeah, Damask is basically like, hey, I was sent by Apocalypse and there's more people coming, but now I'm on your side. And they're like, okay, cool.
Yep. They're like, we're going to do it. And this is our team of X-Calibre. It's Damask, Mystique, Switchback, who's probably also an X-Calibre character, now I think about it, and Nightcrawler. And they're going to fight whatever the secondary team is who we haven't seen or anything. Nope. We don't know who's showing up to finish this off.
Yeah. Probably more X-Calibre villains.
That makes sense.
That's what I would think.
Yeah.
I'm looking at the cover for the next issue, and I'm trying to make out anything that is happening. I don't know. I don't know what that is. So I don't. Is that Mystique?
It is certainly supposed to be Mystique mid-transformation.
Yeah.
It is not great.
Okay.
I'm kind of flipping through the issue to see if I can figure out who they brought. And all I'm seeing is a bunch of like psychic energy popping up.
Good. I love psychic energy. Yeah. It's my favorite kind.
Yeah. So that's what the next issue is going to be. And Mystique turns into Sabretooth. That's what the cover is alluding to.
Yeah. That's
so. Oh, it's the Shadow King. They sent the Shadow King, it looks like.
Oh, that makes sense.
So.
Okay. Yeah.
All right. Anyway, thanks for listening.
Yes. Do you need to?
We'll get to that
Gary,
in a
do you
while.
need to get anything off your chest real quick? Do we need to talk about like any other thing?
Shadow Kings?
No. I'm just saying, like, if you have another diversion for us, another segue.
You know, I wish I hadn't used them all last episode.
Yeah, we got a lot of them out there.
Yeah, unfortunately, I used them all.
Yeah, ratings, reviews. Tell your friends about the podcast. Patreon.com/Duckfeed.tv. That's the place to be. You can get early feeds. We do groupings of this episode of this podcast, so you get all 4 episodes every 2 weeks instead of having to wait.
Like a chump.
Well,
like a no pump chump.
Like a chump that maybe has some some issues with cash flow right now. I don't know.
I guess that's true.
Damn, Gary.
Like a cash dump chump. I just like the phrase no chump pump. Or no pump chump, because you just come and there's nothing happens.
You just come in your pants.
What the?
There's got to be like a story, like I'm sure that there is about a guy who just can't control his orgasm, and like in the middle of a conversation, it's just like, excuse me, and like I start walking into another room and
pardon me, I need to go use the bathroom. Oh, yeah,
wild.
There's that scene in KENZI where the guy jerks off in 6 seconds, and comes, and it's just Liam Neeson looking and being like, incredible.
What the fuck is KENZI? I was going to ask that before, but you earned the fuck with that story.
It's a biopic about the guy who founded the KENZI Institute in Indiana, which is like a big early sex research.
Okay.
In America, and also a big inventor of the KENZI scale, if you ever heard that, which is like how attracted you are to men versus women, KENZI scale. It's a movie about that guy and him slowly becoming more sexually liberated and stuff. And it's apparently like he was not a super good dude. And it's the movie is not very accurate. But the 2 things I remember about it is him meeting a guy who can jerk himself off in 6 seconds and has sex with his own family. And then later his wife finding him in the bathroom, like dripping blood from his crotch, and like looking at him and being like, I just wanted to try it, or something like that. And that's all I remember about KENZI. So Liam Neeson cuts his dick and then also watches a man jerk off and goes, fascinating.
I mean, I'm trying to think like 1 Mississippi, 2 Mississippi. Okay, everybody head home. Get ready. We're going to count you down, man. We're going to count you down. Yeah. 1 Mississippi, 2 Mississippi, 3 Mississippi, 4 Mississippi, 5 Mississippi, 6 Mississippi. I could barely get like to a tit, like in my mind. Of course I was counting, but like, you know what I'm saying? Like that's rough. With no other stimulation involved. 6 seconds is like, that's quick.
It's pretty incredible. Yeah. It's an incredible scene. It's real wild. So.
Gary's like, I'm gonna go watch it right now.
Yeah, I'm due for a rewatch of that mediocre movie about Liam Neeson using a razor blade on his dick head.
Definitely don't want to see that. Don't want to see that.
No, you don't see it. You just see all the blood and him crying afterwards. You don't actually see it. You just see the blood that came out of the dick, not the actual dick itself. Don't worry. It's PG.
I won't worry about that. If you're still with us, thank you for listening. We appreciate it. You should have cut us off a long time ago. We love you. Bye.
Bye.
One last offshoot, and it was a bloody dick and coming in 6 seconds. I love it.
Gotta have that last thing. Let me see this.